Number one, right?
Well, in STD cases, yeah.
That's terrible.
The Mindbuzz Podcast.
This is MB61 on the Mindbuzz Podcast with Kevin Munoz from Latin American Educational Opportunities Podcast. Coming up right now.
The Mindbuzz Podcast.
Kevin,
What's going on, Gill?
what's going on, man? How are you?
I've been doing well. It's good to be back and catching up with you. It's been a minute, you know.
Welcome back. It's been a few episodes. Last time you were on, we talked a little bit about your podcast and what it entails. If you guys want to go catch that, I'll put the link down at the show notes. It's MB32, I believe, with Kevin. But welcome back. And
Thank you. Good to be back.
And we've that was a really awesome episode. I love the little clips that we have on the YouTube channel from we went over doc recipients and we went other some banking stuff.
Yeah, we even touched on Bitcoin a little bit.
Bitcoin a little bit, yeah. That's right. The check cashing,
Right. Yeah, that was a big part of it too.
the scams and shit. So
But
But dude, there was one thing that I wanted to talk about, and that was the most attractive state that I guess they have ranked. And for those of you that do not know where Kevin is from, Kevin's from New Jersey.
Yep, good old Jersey. We're in the good old Jersey over here in the East Coast. Shout out to all my Jersey people.
Dude, so the reason why I brought that up was because somebody that I knew, I'm not too sure if it was like a close friend of mine or my partner, but she was like, "Did you know that California was a third ranked as the most attractive state, meaning like the people from that state."
Yeah.
And
like the people, the most
people,
attractive people.
yeah.
Oh, not even like attracted to to live there. It's just like the people that are attractive.
Yeah. So
Okay. Interesting. All right.
yeah. You Google it, and like I googled most attractive states ranked, and Massachusetts is the fourth one on this list. The third one, like I said, is California. Second, Hawaii, and then lo and behold, number one, it's New Jersey.
Look at that.
Right? Yeah.
Wait, I just searched most attractive states ranked verbatim, and I just got STD cases though.
Well, who knows? Well, no, wait. Well, California probably has you beat in that one.
Yeah, California has. Yep.
It does. Does it?
It does.
Number one, right?
Well, in STD cases, yeah.
That's terrible. No, but yeah. So, like I'm reading the thing. The majority of the population in U.S. is concerned about looks. At least 64% is the first thing they notice about someone, and is how attractive they are. And it ranks them most attractive states from 1 to 10. Arizona being the 10th one.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And
Hawaii number 2. Look at that.
Yeah. 4 Massachusetts, and 5 New York, 6 Colorado, 7 Connecticut, 8 Rhode Island, 9 Alaska, and then of course Arizona. Yeah. So how do you feel being from the most attractive state, Kevin?
I feel like I'm on top of the world, dude. You know, just I don't know how they based that off of. Oh man, that's so funny. That is
well, you figure, I mean, California has Los Angeles, Silicon Valley, Hollywood, but all that doesn't it doesn't matter.
I guess movie stars are just ugly, right? Like it's
Yeah.
just uglier than New Jerseyans, unless you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah, are they looking at this from a just from looks, I guess.
What a shallow survey, you know? This is like the definition. I just love how finally we looked at the STD rates per 100,000 for new cases of chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, and HIV. Like, the more STDs running around, the less attractive state. There you go.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay. So wait, hold on. Repeat. Let's dissect this.
All right,
for just a minute. Okay. So what?
Right.
So say that again.
All right. You want me to say the whole thing?
Yeah.
So they looked at STD rates per 100,000 for new cases for chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, and HIV. And it seems they concluded that the more STDs running around, the less attractive the state.
Okay.
According to this article.
Okay, so according to this article, the more a state has STDs, the less attractive it is?
Yes. So now that gets me thinking, like, they're saying maybe a state is less attractive based on STD cases, right? That's what this is based off of then? Yeah.
What? That makes 0 sense. I mean,
this seems kind of like they're just like bagging on people with if people have any of these, you know what I mean? That
I'm appalled.
Right? Like wow.
No, wait, hold on. Not to say that Mindbuzz is affiliated with any type of STD. That's what I'm saying.
No.
But okay, so if you scroll down in the article just a little bit more, it will show you the obesity rate of that state and the activity level, which I'm assuming that's physical activity, right? And STD cases. Wow. Okay, so they based. It's so funny how they gather this, I guess, this assumption based on how fat a population is, how active they are, and then their STD rates.
Right. So what I'm getting here is they took the obesity, the activity level, STD rates, and then they out of that they somehow ranked them all depending on that output. Makes you think, like, how did they even like survey people? Like I mean, did they just gather medical data, or like did they actually go up to people and like, hey, do you have like STDs or like any of this? You know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
So what throws me off about California is that the STD cases is only 527. Now that not bagging on California, but that seems very low. That's
not very reputable, right?
527 just seems like that would be Los Angeles County. Maybe even the city or one block, but the whole state, I don't believe that at all.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird that's also the exact same number as Jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, who wrote this? Who wrote this?
Who who's doing this
Uh,
study? No, the obesity rate is 25.7, but with only okay, so look at with only 25.7 obesity rate, California comes in as the third most attractive state in the country. In addition to keeping their bodies in shape, residents know how to keep themselves protected as the STD cases are kept. Okay, so right here, 527 per 100,000 residents.
Okay.
So that's per
Right. So it's per
100,000.
100,000.
So if we do 200,000 residents, will the 527 double? Is that
Yeah,
safe to
essentially
say?
that's what we're getting at.
Right?
Right. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you look at like these kind of studies. Because honestly, I think a lot of studies like these are just like complete BS. I mean, pretty obviously, like pretty evident, like
Yeah.
that they're considering like a lot of times depending on like your size of people that like you're interviewing. I forget what the name for it is, but well, we could call it your test size, right?
Yeah.
Depending on like your test size, you can manipulate data in that manner. And that's just not always clear. Like especially like an article like this, you don't really see. They say like per 100,000, but then it's just like, all right, is it per 100,000 also in Jersey? And then you have to take into consideration like there's more people in California than in
Yeah,
Jersey.
you know,
all that stuff.
The different population sizes, the different census within different counties. I mean, one county
Right.
will have more fat people than the other. One county will have more
Yeah.
people with STDs than the next county
Sure.
on it. So that will
Yeah.
it kind of there's a
A lot
word
of
for,
variables.
yeah, exactly. Variables,
Mhm.
but there's also there's a word for it, but kind of skews
Yep.
it skews your data just a little bit when
Absolutely.
you start thinking about all these different variables rather
Mhm.
than black and white data and
Yep.
numbers. So yeah, I don't
Man.
know. But I mean that's what Google says. So
Yeah. Yep. Hey, if Google says it,
yeah. Yeah, I mean
set
I
in
don't
stone.
so
I mean, hey,
whoever,
+1 for Jersey, I guess, right?
yeah, but once you and like you asked to the question where they are getting this data from. Like, is it from the census that just happened, or
Right.
yeah,
Right. That's true. That's true.
yeah, is it
And then you can
somebody
get into
going?
like, I was gonna say, then you can just get into like people not even like reporting that data and like all this. Man, it takes me back to like my statistics class back in college, the good
Uh-huh.
college days.
Yeah, no, I took I think over the course of the pandemic that we were talking about right before we started recording, I did take a statistics class.
Yeah.
Um
Oh, there you go. You're fresh off then.
Kinda and kinda not. Well,
Soon as you were done with it, you're like, I'm done with it.
yeah, well, uh, it was a lot of work. What I really liked was that it was a lot of word problems, but
Mm.
finding
Mhm.
out the formula that works best for that word
Right.
problem and what formulas work for the type of study that you would possibly do. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was one course that I would really love to do just to do inside a classroom setting rather than over Zoom, because I had so
Oh,
many
yeah.
I had so many questions and just emailing the instructor back and forth and having to wait like a couple of hours when I needed that question answered now, or
Oh, man.
before a an exam or something. But I still have the
Yeah.
book, so I'm
I
gonna
still have
head
mine
back.
too.
I kept all of them.
Yeah, same. I should really sell them. Probably got like $500 in them, not even gonna lie.
No, I believe it. Is that one
Yeah.
book?
I wish. No, it's like actually, when you take in consideration the other ones, you're right. We're looking at like 800. We're looking at like 800. I should really get to selling those. Yo, I'll use that to get a new mic. We were just talking about your
Yeah.
awesome mic.
Yeah.
I'll sell those and screw education, right? Yeah, I didn't say that. And then get the mic.
No, but that's something. Well, that's something that you can say on here rather than on your podcast. So,
yeah, we're all about education on my podcast.
but not
Listen,
today.
not today, not on this podcast. Nah, but that's why I think the education at least is just like, contrary to, I think a lot of more people, younger people like me have that thought process. You can teach a lot to yourself. Then now it's all dependent on you, right? Like a lot of people can be very dedicated. Like I taught a lot myself. A lot of the stuff that I know. A lot of people need to be in a different environment. Which I totally get that. Not everyone can be in their own home, and there's so many like noises going on, especially like if you live in like a Hispanic household. We all know how loud that can get.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have you have your Zoom class going on in the living room, and then you have your Theas coming over being all loud. Gill, how you doing?
With the cheese man,
with the fresh cheese man.
Cheese man. With the fresh cheese man.
Cheese man, it's 90 degrees outside, but they're making pozole right there.
Yo, for real.
Yeah, it amazes me, and my partner just told me about this. She was like, because I always make comments about how like her family makes like bondigas or like hot soup. I'm like,
Yo,
why are you making
guilty
soup? It's 115 degrees outside in Southern California, and you guys are making soup.
Yo, I even made like a tweet about that where I was like, yo, it's like 105 degrees out here. Like, why is my mom making some caldo de res out here? And then I'm like, I'm gonna still have some though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm over here like grilling my mom for making soup.
Yeah.
In like some hot ass weather. When like 5 minutes later, I'm like, yo, is it ready yet? Like,
right? No, but I guess that's just
sweat it out.
Yeah, exactly. That's just the culture that is with that. But like we were saying, the Zoom meetings when there's not, it's hard. I mean, it's pretty, it's difficult, especially when you're living in a household that has multiple families in there. But yeah, I mean that's also a we can go on all day about about
absolutely.
that. But no, like you were saying with the Zoom meeting, not a lot of people can be able to get an education over online, and it's not just having a space and the availability for that education, but also when you start tapping into the laptop, not many can I mean, if I was I can only imagine now if I was at, let's say, middle school or high school, and the pandemic, hit. It hit when I was in school. That I don't know. I don't even think I would be able to finish that year, to be honest.
It's tough. I have my little brother, and he had to do a large majority of it he's in middle school and online. Now, luckily, we live in like a pretty nice township where like they give the kids laptops.
Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, that wouldn't. There were places that can't do that. Your education is just out the window in that case. Like, you don't really blame kids for not doing their work and maybe falling behind. And there's so many reports that came out throughout the pandemic where like kids were just not getting good grades and everything. It's just like, yeah, well, it makes sense. Like, they're at home, they're distracted, they probably don't even want to do the work because they're not motivated. Large majority of these kids, like childhood is dependent on socializing with other kids, their age.
Yeah. definitely. And
Yeah.
another story that I heard from, now this was from a few episodes ago that I had a close friend of mine, and it was actually during the pandemic that we had that episode,
Okay.
and she was talking about how she was constantly going to her parents' house and helping her younger sister with her homework because her
Mm.
her parents didn't know English, and they were having difficulty, setting up the Zoom calls, and
Yeah.
not just the language barrier, but also the I guess the technical side and setting up the
Technical
laptop.
barrier too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge in like the Latin American community as well, and just like minorities too. It's just like if or immigrants is the most when will you find this, because you come to a new country and you don't even know how to speak that language, let alone use the technology that's here, because you're coming from a world where like you're not using that technology every day, or it's even being introduced, right? So then now, kinda even back then, like, I was as a kid, my sister and I, we had to, like, figure out a lot of the things in school. We were signing, like, our own, like, "I'm not gonna be going to school today because 'cause I'm going to the doctor's." We were writing the notes and then signing it ourselves, like,
Oh,
as our
okay.
parents, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's the kind of struggles um, that come with that, and take those struggles now into a whole nother level, elevated because of the pandemic, and then it just all a freaking mess.
Yeah, and especially now that technology is being inserted in different places of our lives that we have never even would have dreamed of.
Mm,
All the way down from going, purchasing stuff in the store, buying stuff online. You don't even have to have your credit card physically with you to buy
right.
something online anymore. It's just a
No,
couple
you
of,
just
but like if you have Apple Pay, boom, right there. Or if you have your Google Pay set up to your Visa card or whatever you
yeah.
use, like it's just that's
It's
how it is.
seamless.
Yeah.
It's seamless. They just make it so easy. Your phone, boom, you have facial recognition, just like that. You're checking out.
Yeah, another crazy thought I had was, you remember, have you seen iRobot with Will Smith?
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
remember
of
that
course.
film?
Oh yeah, I love that film.
You remember that part where he's leaving the bar and he's gonna pay for his drink, and
Mm,
he has like kind of like this like little marker scanner thing attached to his keys, and he just swipes it.
yep.
Right, just like what we have now. We have the card tapping feature on most
Mhm.
of our debit cards. And I remember watching that as a young person thinking, how cool would that be? Uh, that it, if something like that happens in the future. And now I'm doing it. Now I'm leaving restaurants and leaving, different
Yeah.
places after paying for stuff, and then boom, tapping it and then walking away.
Yeah, that's it's actually crazy too how much it sneaks up on us. Like it's just very you don't realize you become like desensitized to it um unless you kind of reflect back onto it, and you you did just now. And it's so interesting to look at. It's one of the things I've been looking at too, and it's just I love seeing all the new innovation around it.
Like what do you mean?
Just like studying like different articles, and like there was one I was reading for similar to what you're saying, like for facial recognition though,
Uh-huh.
where think about like Amazon, you go into a Whole Foods and you just walk out with your cart without like, because they already have your Amazon account and everything. They have like
Oh,
they check your groceries, they know what you check out, and like it just boom, taken out of your account without even no cashiers, no nothing.
dude, they just opened one up a few, I think I was by, yeah, I was coming out of a job. I was dropping off a deposit or something like that, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, there's a Amazon. They called it Amazon Fresh.
Yeah.
That's what it's called,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, I think so. With yeah, I think so. With they're testing out certain stores in different places.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
So
man, California's the test dummies for for things that are going on in this country.
yeah, I mean Silicon Valley's there too, so they want to get all that data.
Oh yeah, yeah, huge amount. And just like we were
Mm-hmm.
talking at the top of this about uh taking all this certain data and
Mm-hmm.
recasting it as something else, as a
Yeah.
yeah. I'm pretty fascinated to see how that would work, especially in a society that we're social primates.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
but I mean, yes, we're very social creatures, but at the same time we always look for the next best thing to come out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's consumption. Now we're making consumption super easy and
Yeah.
innovative that anybody can do it with whatever.
Yeah, I
I
mean
mean,
everyone has a phone at this point.
right, and if you don't, you're from another country. I mean,
Even then, dude,
who
even
knows?
then. Yeah. Oh man, we've come a long way. You know, it's kind of scary to think about though. All the innovation also kind of makes you think about the dark side of it with like ransomware and scamming and so, different type of scamming because we touched on payday loans and stuff, right? Now this is
Yeah.
like you're you're getting, I don't know, like your bank account. I had a friend that um his father's account, I guess, got hacked and like they were trying to get money out of it and they had to go through like a whole process. So it's so many scams out there with new tech. There's always gonna be people trying to take advantage of it.
Yeah, as I guess technology gets more innovative, the hackers get
Mhm.
have to
Right.
uh
More creative. Yep.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And even getting, dude, I'm telling you, man, I if people are getting hacked now, because if you think when you think about it, a lot of people have their face is being recognized for
Mhm.
apps and different in their phone, to open the
Right.
phone, to open different apps. Your fingerprint is all this is being collected by your phone. Like,
Mhm.
your phone has your fingerprint, your phone has your face. Obviously it has your banking information, it has all this data that you're looking at, and Google has all that stuff.
Yep. Amazon with Alexa.
Amazon with Alexa, exactly.
Yeah.
Alexa still scares the shit out of me, but I still have it.
Same.
Um, uh, and I always bring this up too, that Alexa is always listening no matter
Mhm.
what, because she just has to. That's the nature of it.
Yeah. All these assistants, right? Personal assistants, I guess if you would, are listening. And there's even been reports, articles, numerous research done that they have been because that's how they get data and they're justifying it by saying they're using it to improve the devices, right? To get better like speech recognition and all that. But what's stopping them from using it for other things and just justifying it with we're just using it to make better devices, right?
Yeah, I think that's one thing. I mean, you can't really hold them accountable for anything. I think it's just
Yeah.
more along the lines of you either accepting these policies and accepting the cookies and accepting the data
Yeah.
that it collects, or don't use it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, accountability is a huge thing that most of these don't abide by. And like um one thing that does come to mind recently though is like the Facebook. I don't know if you've heard of the Facebook reports and like the whole incident with they had a like recent whistleblower
Pl-
incident.
Please do tell me, because I missed that one.
Yeah, it's so it was huge. Not only like in the tech world, but just in general because of social media. You know how Facebook runs everything.
Yeah.
Um, there was a whistleblower who used to work for Facebook, and she was pretty high up on the chain of command, I'd say, and that's how she knew all this stuff. Regarding she came out with like pages and pages of these studies that Facebook would do um in the company. They would study that, that would conclude that social media actually hurts like teens' mental health. Like it actually like Instagram, for example, actually affects their mental health for things like they did like reports and studies that a lot of teenagers blamed Instagram for having like body issues, right? Like insecurities because of the algorithms that are used by Instagram. And like if you like some fitness model, now it's only going to keep recommending you like fitness stuff, and that's all you're going to be looking at for the majority of the time. So that's just like one of the things that was pointed out of like all these crazy studies that were done, and all concluded to how the algorithm itself was what um damaged like people's right mental health. And it was a huge thing because they knew this, they did this study, the research, they had the data on that, and they just kept it to themselves. Like they didn't do anything with it. Like they're just like, okay, so we know that, and we're not going to do anything about it. We're actually going to use it to like actually. One of the other things she pointed out was they were targeting kids um on purpose. They were targeting kids like to market, like, you know, Instagram and all these their services as well. And even to the point where like how like even younger, like they were even going younger kids, like targeting like how can we get them at a young age so that when they grow up they're already hooked on like these social medias. So now you have like a lifetime customer, if you would, right? It's great, dude. It's so interesting. At least to me, right? Because and it's if you guys search like the journal and the Facebook files like podcast, the journal podcast, they have a series called the Facebook files. They do such a great job highlighting what was said in this whistleblower report and going through it. So if they're interested in it, that's a great resource to check out.
Yeah, dude, that sounds cool. You need to email me that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, email me the link, and I can put the link down at the show notes. That sounds.
Yep.
No, that sounds very interesting. I kind of want to check
Mhm.
that out.
Yep. Yep.
But
I
yeah,
binged like the whole series.
I want. But what happened to this that woman that did that?
Oh, she went,
Do you recall?
and it was such. Well, she went on. She actually like testified like in Congress like against
Oh,
Facebook. That's why it was such a big deal. And ironically, you remember when Facebook and like, oh, I shouldn't say ironically, like coincidentally, Facebook and Instagram were down, WhatsApp, all their search services were down for like 6 hours.
yeah, that was crazy.
It was coincidentally like the next day, I think, after
What?
she, yeah.
No
So
way.
it's like, okay, it's like, is that a coincidence? Like, you know, whatever that you could go into like conspiracy theories and
Yeah.
and whatever, like, oh, are they covering something, whatever, you know what I mean? That's on people's creative, if you want to get creative with it, right?
Let's
But
get
you know, it makes
creative
you
with
think.
it.
I mean, it makes you think, like,
Let's get creative with it.
hey, it's the Mindbuzz podcast, right?
Dude, but I mean, okay, so at first, so she was talking about all these reports, right? That
Yeah. So she came up with a huge, like, imagine like stacked bam
Yeah.
reports.
boom, here you go. This is where
Yeah.
Facebook is crippling our society and our youth.
Right. Mhm.
Yes, but okay, so we're talking about accountability at this
Mhm.
too. Okay, so there has to be a line to where I guess the user is accountable also, and the platform is accountable also.
Right.
Is there a is it safe to say that is a truth, or is that just a fallacy that I'm led to believe?
Um, it's such a complicated, I think, issue because the thing is, here's where I stand. It's just like these companies, Facebook, right? They have the data. They Data is key. We've gone over this. We've been talking about it like
Yeah.
basically all podcast. On people, different ages, um different everything, ethnicities and everything, and they know how to target people based on whatever they want to achieve. So then it's just like, can you blame someone for being then addicted to social media if
Yes.
they're feeding them that addiction? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, I don't think so, because the same thing
Right.
can be applied to opiates. The
Right.
same the
No,
same
yeah, I was gonna
thing.
say like alcohol too. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, yeah.
the same thing can be applied to alcohol beverage companies. The same can be applied to anything else. Strippers, hooters, who knows? I mean,
Right.
we can jump into their new shorts in the next
Oh
couple of
my
minutes,
gosh.
but
My
um
girlfriend actually sent me a picture of that, and she was like, "What do
I
you think of this?" I was like, "Wow."
I
I
ha-
mean, what are they even like?
I haven't seen them. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google that in just a few after we. This
Uh,
has turned into a Hooters new shorts
oh my gosh.
reaction video, but no,
That's
I mean the
funny.
same thing can be applied to that. So I mean, is it same thing with nicotine? I mean,
I was
tobacco
gonna say, you
commercials.
remember Jewel? Right. Right, Jewel. Oh, you could get all these great flavors: mango, raspberry, cotton candy. I don't even know all these other ones. That was obviously done on purpose, and they knew what they were doing. And then they got fined for it. But like, whatever, that's just a slap on the wrist for the amount of money they made off of it already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing could be said too by Mark the Devil Zuckerberg and from Facebook and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And now, since we're on the subject, I mean, uh, fucking Jeff Bezos too,
Oh yeah.
with Alexa collecting data.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yep.
there's this film on Netflix too that really goes in depth about what we're
Oh
talking
really?
about here too. Yeah. I have to find. I'm gonna find the name, and
Okay.
I will share that. But
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's called like social network, or no,
Oh,
that's the film about Facebook. I'm sorry.
right. Yeah,
There's
yeah,
another
yeah.
one.
But I think it's similar to that social. I think it's social something maybe. But I think I know what you're talking about because I might have seen like the thumbnail for it, and it's just like a bunch of tech stuff on it. Um, I have yet to watch it though. Maybe I need to get
Oh
around to
yeah,
that.
right here. There we go. The Social Dilemma.
That's what it
That's
is.
what it's
Yep.
called.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It came out in 2022. I got super stoned and I watched this, and that was probably the worst combination I can fathomly do. And
Oh
in a
boy.
pandemic, extra amount of cannabis, and this movie, dude, I was freaking the fuck out. Like I
Anxiety
honestly,
off the roof.
I got anxiety.
Oh no.
I turned off my tracking on my phone. I unplugged Alexa.
I'm picturing you just like sweating, unplugging everything you got around
I
you.
was logging. I usually keep my social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm all
Uh-huh.
I'm logged in. I logged out, and I deleted the apps, and it was just weird.
Oh my
I
god.
got my clothes and I put them in like a dumpster, and
Lit it on
I lit
fire.
them on fire. I torched them,
No.
crying in the
Ugh.
tub. Not me. Not me.
No.
No, but yeah, dude, that film just it screwed me up, but it's really something to think about. I mean, we have
Mm-hmm.
no longer we're not the customers anymore. We are the model. We are the product.
Right.
And the real customers are these corporations. We're being
Mm-hmm.
sold. Our data
Yeah.
is being sold.
Oh yeah. And we're not getting compensated for it. It's the
I'm
worst part.
I'm weary of even putting my it's so there's a catch 22 to this because we're both independent artists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what anybody says. If you're a podcaster, you're an independent artist.
Mm-hmm.
And
Agreed.
it's kind of funny because we talk about these things, but we strive for
I know.
SOPs. We search for search engine optimize SEOs, excuse me.
SEO, yeah.
Yeah,
Search engine optimizations. Yeah.
exactly. But the
Mhm.
foundation of SEO is exactly what we're talking about: finding the
I know.
data. Finding the
It's
data.
it's that's the thing. It's such a struggle, right? Because like you said, we have to rely on social media, on networks and all that to get our art out, right? How this works. I think where the way I see it is like you have to have a healthy relationship with it and you have to learn to have a healthy relationship with it and you have to be able to um you have to be able to tell between like business and just you being just like addicted to it to a certain point of like am I being productive. And that's not to say whatever you look at your phone, we all look at our phones to an extent. It's just like what am I like, how often and all that, right? um because I see social media as a way to get my podcast out, as a way to get resources
Yeah,
out. And
you're using it as a tool.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I more on that. I recently what I was reflecting on. I think it was after that film, after I came down and calmed
After
down
you
a little.
stepped out of the
Yeah.
bathtub, put on some nice warm clothes.
after I came out of that hiatus for 6 hours. No, I really thought about it because I think I was just mindlessly just scrolling in this thing. I'm trying to get it mindlessly scrolling, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there came a time to where I was mindlessly scrolling and I kind of questioned myself on
Yeah.
what am I doing? Like am I a consumer or am I a
Right.
creator? And I think that's
Yeah.
where my screen time went a little bit down after a couple of hours. And I think that's one question to ask yourself if you're a creator or podcaster, artist,
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. Are you a consumer or are you a creator? Because consumers consume. They scroll
Yeah.
mindlessly. They look at pictures. They like pictures. And mindless sounds like negative. I don't mean to be that certain way because I mean there comes a time where part of your day, of course, you're going to be consuming. Oh,
Right. Right.
it's part of the research. It's part of
Yeah.
that plan that you have. So
It's a healthy relationship. I mean, it
yeah,
comes back to it. Just having a healthy relationship with it, and
yeah,
setting boundaries.
exactly. Boundaries is
Mm.
one thing. Like some may not work for the others. Like I had a friend telling me about, oh well, I put my phone in the living room and I turn it off and I come to sleep and I don't sleep with it on and I only use it certain hours. Okay, yeah, that might
Yeah.
work for you, but it might not work for the other person. I think finding out what
Right.
works best for you and applying it and having
Yep.
some discipline, there's a
Yeah.
healthy relationship. There's a base for a healthy relationship with technology and social media.
Beautifully said. I mean, that could be even applied outside of that could be applied with anything, you know what I mean? back to even the things that we talked about, even with relationships with people, relationships with not only technology, but just like even an addiction, even your mental health, like setting boundaries. Sometimes you need to be alone, right? Sometimes you want to interact with people, and knowing that that's okay is part of that. Um, Part of that, having that like that picture of and boundaries.
I think you beautifully said. I mean, about just about people in general. I mean, you don't have to be. I think uh there's this fallacy that where if you are a healthy person, you always have to be happy. That
Right.
is completely not. That's first of all, that's not even within a healthy person's I belief system. I mean, I don't know because I've never been a healthy person, so I have no clue.
Who really
But
has? Who really has though, you know?
I don't know, but I just know what works best for me, and I think
And that's what's important.
exactly knowing
Yeah.
what works best for
Mhm.
you, because what works best for Kevin may not work best for Gill or for the next person that
Yep.
is
Yep.
trying to be healthy or in a positive mental state. But I think
Mhm.
Mark Manson has this thing, and he's the author of the subtle art of not giving a fuck, and then he also has
What? Oh yeah.
his
Very
other
popular
book.
book.
Yeah, and he has this I think in his latest book too, about how no, it doesn't matter which one it is, but he has this
Right.
concept in there saying that to be an overly positive person all the time it has a negative effect on your attitude. And that's because you're not really dealing with some of the negative issues or negative problems that you might not have, because you're faking it. You're faking having a
Mm.
positive attitude, which you should be. I guess if something negative happens to you, you have to let your guard down. I guess be vulnerable, take that negative
Yeah.
thing in, and struggle with it. You have to fight with it.
Mm. Yeah, you can't just keep like sweeping it under the carpet, right? I think the best thing you can do is face it,
Hmm.
and see like how it's affecting you, and take how it's affecting you, how you feel, and turn that into a positive, right? Make sure like, okay, I'm gonna make sure that some whatever is affecting me negatively, I'm not gonna let that affect me next time, or I'm gonna change this or that to have a better positive outlook. But be mindful that that's what affects me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it it all has to do with vulnerability.
True.
Sometimes you have to. Some people see vulnerability as weakness.
Hmm.
There's a catch 22 to that, because vulnerability can also be really powerful if you really think
Hmm.
about it. Uh,
Hmm.
you don't when you go into, let's say, education, for instance, what we were talking about. If you
Right.
go into a class or a course with your guards up and thinking you know everything, are you really going to learn something? I don't think
Yeah.
so. You know, lowering your being vulnerable to information
Right.
is key. Well, hold on. Let me stop right there. Being vulnerable to education can be can
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
a very powerful thing. Now, if you're just being vulnerable to information, there's still a filter that you have to look
Yeah,
at, because
right.
you can be vulnerable to, I don't know, flat Earth theory and be like, oh shit, okay, that sounds right. Maybe I'll give that one out. But who knows? I still
Uh,
don't know if the Earth is flat or not. Is NASA real? I have no clue. Um, is there
take,
a Loch Ness monster? I don't know.
I
Bigfoot?
was
Who
saying,
knows?
take the SpaceX out there, man. They're doing tours now, right? Back
Are
to
they really?
our yeah, recently they have a Netflix if you, I don't know if it was a limited series, so I
Uh-huh.
don't know if it's still up, but it's pretty sure it's called like the Inspiration 4, where they sent 4 people. I'd say normal people, quote unquote, like average people, but they pick and choose really, like like
Yeah.
they have someone who's like I think like an engineer or something on there and something else, but essentially they're like everyday people, quote unquote, and they take them into space, and they documented it and then into a series, and it's really interesting. I mean, they had the launch and everything. I really liked like watching it, so it
Yeah,
was pretty neat.
I have to check that out. I mean, I don't um so they're taking like just normal average, people with
Right,
I mean,
like
well,
this is
uh,
it's the first trip that
uh-huh.
where they're taking like civilians, I guess if you
Okay.
would, right?
Civilians
Civilians,
civilians
like
with $1 million.
well, yes, well, one of them was a millionaire. The other ones who had to be like on there. He's the project guy for it,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
like the pilot and whatever. But another one was like from St. Jude. She was like a survivor, which that was like she was like the only like I think I guess like average relatable kind of person in that sense. Um, but no, it was great to watch. I think it's something uh get you thinking also like space tourism, but also get you thinking like these billionaires like kind of racing to see who's going to be the one to take people into space tourism, if you would.
Yeah. No. I I wonder what kind of person will do that. Like I understand
I mean,
some people that go on cruises from Long Beach, California and go to Ensenada, Mexico. I mean, is that what we have looking forward to in the next 20, 30 years?
that's what Elon Musk is trying to do with SpaceX and Jeff Bezos, and um
Making it a cruise,
yeah, basically cruise for the skies.
right?
A cruise for the skies. That's what they're trying to get at.
I wonder, okay, so this is kind of funny to think about. Okay, so have you ever been on like a cruise, I think they have Carnival
No.
cruises,
Yeah.
there's Princess Cruise. So I've
Yep, I
been
know all about them, but I've never been on one.
I let me tell you this, man. The only thing to do on that
Get drunk?
cruise
Just
ship
get drunk?
is there's three things that you can do. One is get drunk,
Right.
two is gamble,
Oh, true.
and three is eat till you puke.
Right.
Those are the
Right.
the only thing that you can do on those cruises.
Hey, what
Now,
about those Nickelodeon, not to cut you off, those Nickelodeon cruises look pretty
oh, I've
banging.
I've I've never been on one of those. No.
They got, like, water parks on the cruises and everything.
Yeah, no,
I
I
don't
don't.
know. It looks
I've
pretty
I've
neat.
never been to that one, but except for
Anyways, go on.
Carnival. Now they have all these different buffets, Chinese food and
Mm,
pizza, burgers, dogs, burritos, tacos, everything, right?
yeah.
Now I'm starting to think like what kind of amenities they will have on a SpaceX cruise, if you will, and how long would that be? And is there going to be a buffet open 24/7? Because if there's not going to be a buffet open 24/7, why the hell would I go cruising around
Right,
the moon?
right. And let's be real, like, let's also just be real, like, they're not gonna be able to put that many people, up there until it becomes affordable, like,
Oh yeah.
the amount they would charge for even cruises are a bit, like, pricey,
There
let
yeah.
alone let alone to go into space. Oh my gosh, like, that's not gonna be a thing till only for the ones that can afford it, and we're talking, like, thousands of dollars for sure.
Yeah, and then you're going to need a crew, you're going to need like a food and
Yeah,
beverage team to
yeah,
you're going to have all these
right.
different hospitality people to work
Mhm.
on that specific cruise ship.
Yeah.
Um, I just this is funny to think about. Like,
I know, right?
What do you want to do? Oh, honey, what do you want to do for, our for 1950 no 2050 anniversary year? Let's go to the moon.
Let's go to the moon, baby. We're going to the moon. Wow. That's funny. That is funny to
Right?
think about.
Vacation is changing for America and the world.
Yeah, who knows how long out too? I mean, technology is advancing so fast. It's like before we know it, going even to like you said, like going to the moon, and we see that, but we're just gonna be one of those things that's just like kind of going to Disneyland, like going to Disney World. They're like, it's like, yeah, just went to the moon, like, and not even have a second thought about it, like.
Right? Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Dude, I just went to the moon.
Dude, I'm
this
high. Oh man,
I'm
on a moon high, baby.
Yeah, right. I just got back from my trip to Mars, and the weather was fine. A lot of dust everywhere. It's fine. I mean, but I know next month the trip to the moon is gonna be way better. We got a better deal on this one.
Gosh. Yeah, that's in store. I always love thinking about like what the future could look like, because it's so interesting. There's so many possibilities,
Yeah.
even to think about like where we were 10 years ago to where we're now.
Funny you say that because, okay, do you watch American Horror Story at all?
Oh yeah, my girlfriend and I love watching that
Okay,
show.
so
Oh,
have
yeah.
you watched the most
Newest
recent
ones?
ones? Yeah.
Yeah. With the aliens,
Yeah.
we yep, yep.
Okay, so I'm very weary of watching stuff, of watching series, because I have a very addictive personality. So once
Okay.
I find out that there's a really good show on Netflix or whatever the streaming channel, Hulu, whatever,
Mhm.
I get very like I want to know what's gonna happen. I want to know
Right.
so like Squid Games, I watched that in like 2 days.
Shout out Squid Games. Yo, I watched that too. It's so
I
fast.
watched
Like
it
2
in like
days.
2 days, and I was just like, okay, the
My
endings.
girlfriend was like, "You want to watch it?" I was like, "Babe."
Yeah,
Forgive me.
exactly. My girl was telling me about this show for since it came out, and she was like, "Come on, you have to watch it." Yeah, she was texting me every day. Have you watched it yet? Have you watched it? I was like, girl, when I start watching something, because when I start watching something, I put my phone on do not disturb. I don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
I turn all the lights off in my house. I become a crack addict. That's what I
The
did
whole
with
ritual.
that.
Just
Yeah,
the whole
exactly. That's
ritual.
the
Yeah.
whole ritual. Extra cannabis, just like I did with the social media dilemma movie on
Yeah.
Netflix. Went on this but Squid Game's awesome, but I'm talking about American
Yep,
Horror
yep.
Story. Okay, so
Right, right.
in the part to where I guess it was with Dwight D. Eisenhower, where he was talking about the I guess the meeting with the aliens, and how
Right.
he was allowing what, like 50,000 Americans to be abducted.
Right, for the sake of like saving the rest.
Yeah, but very interesting that he was saying about the technology that they were allowing, or the aliens
Oh,
were
right. They
giving.
were right. Them that technology to use, and then that they were gonna use it for like their own
Dominance.
advantage.
Yeah.
Right, right. To take back, if you would. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So it's quite interesting, because it's not just there's on so many levels where this thing it hits reality, because
Mhm.
one, I was fucking thinking about this when I was 14, when I read there's this book called The Liquid Conspiracy, where it outline, and this book was like my Dr. Seuss. It was like I'm telling you, man, I picked up this book when I was like 14, 15 years old,
Wow.
and I kept on reading it. I think that it planted something in my brain to start questioning stuff, and start when somebody learns their first conspiracy theory,
Your
they
mind starts unraveling, right? You want to know more.
exactly. And that's what this
Yeah.
book was. It talked about the Operation Paperclip with the Nazis after World War II. It covered the assassination of John F. Kennedy, the CIA, the American military involvement in MK Ultra with LSD, and one part in that book was the advancement in technology that America was going to have after the New Mexico crash landing. And when they were talking about that, I was like, crap, like, okay, so conspiracy theorists were talking about this stuff decades ago. And now that it's like right in front of our faces on a national level, it makes you think like, okay, so these conspiracy theorists were talking about this, decades ago. Now it's in front of the public's eye.
Yeah.
There's we can talk about connections all day between predictive, they call it predictive programming, and and what's happening now. I'm just it's kind of ironic that that Netflix is showing this to the public eye, but if you were to talk about this on the radio or national news, like 10, 15 years ago, you would be called a crackpot.
Everyone's a crackpot till they're not, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So.
No, that's definitely true. And I don't know. It just it blows my mind because even when Trump was in office, he was talking about all these conspiracies, and even not just him, but his other followers, in different governors of take Matt Gaetz, for instance, in Florida. He also had all these conspiracy theories that he was talking about the insurrection, about voter fraud, and all that crazy stuff. But it's I don't know, just it's crazy. All these conspiracy theories and all this stuff. But yeah, dude, American Horror Stories. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but I think I'm coming on episode 8, 9. I think I got 10. I still gotta watch 10. So
yeah, all right, yeah. Don't spoil it for me because I think we still gotta watch one. I think one of the new ones that came out might be 10 as well.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. Squid Games, however, if we can talk about that for just a few minutes. What did you think about that movie?
Squid Games? I thought it was great.
That series.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Very really gets you thinking. Obviously it's pretty in your face about like people being in debt and the things that now obviously that escalated to a whole nother level, right? That they're willing to do to get out of debt.
Yeah.
But is it really like that much different than like some like going to like a loan shark and stuff? You know what I mean? Like in essence. But it just really highlights like all the people and in society and the economic disparity that there is, like the inequality is there, and it's just kind of taking all of that and putting it into a series, and I think it was like very like done very well.
Yeah, it was. One thing that I did take from that, well, the first couple of episodes, I was trying to like deconstruct about what the message was going to be at the end of this series. At first, I was contemplating the way that it was kind of going into about capitalism for one, and just like what you were saying, debt and monetary values, and people needing a certain amount of money for this and that. And then it also kind of it went from that about like monetary disparity, and then the duality between good and evil, which was one too, because the two guys left at the end of the show, they were, one was completely like, oh, like you wanted him to die. You didn't want him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Kevin, I can't hear you. I think you
Oh,
muted
okay.
yourself. There we
Yeah,
go.
okay. All right. Yeah, no, I was gonna say towards the end there, I was also just like, just finish it, just get it done, just get it over with. Like,
Exactly. And
I think a lot of us were in that same mindset, but yeah, absolutely highlighted the like you said, the inequalities as
yeah,
well.
and the duality between good and evil, rich and poor. It also it even like I don't want to spoil it, but like even the ending was just I don't know,
Yeah.
like it dragged on for 2 episodes where this could have been cut into like one.
True.
The ending, I mean, did we really need to know that that guy was all behind everything? I mean,
Yeah,
maybe. I don't think so. Did he have to show him dying in the bed? And I just
that's
didn't get
true.
that
That's
part.
true.
You know?
I don't know. Maybe they were going for some sentimental stuff on that end, or kind of like a plot twist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's the popularity of it has to do a lot with the um how relatable it is, and that's the
Yeah.
scary part. That's the real scary part from it all. You know?
Yeah. No, yeah. Honestly, yeah, man. And you start to think about it, like, what would I do with that
Yeah.
money? Well, hold on. I want to Google something before we go.
All right. Yeah.
So I want to see how much money was in Squid Game.
It's
But
been like,
I want to convert that to US dollars.
I think it must have been like billions. I think I was curious too.
Okay.
Like a billion or something.
Okay, here we go. So originally the guy, he won 45.6 billion won. So we need to
Yeah.
convert oh, okay. So let's see. So
So he won okay.
he won 45.6 billion won. So we do that and then we just convert that to US dollars.
Might be like 4 billion.
Oh, that's not even that much.
No?
No.
How much did he
It's $38,000. 38, yeah, 38. Wait, hold on. Am I saying that wrong?
Oh my gosh.
You say it cuz you're the finance guy, not me.
Wait,
I'm
what,
just
all right, so what are we converting here from?
okay, so it's
38 billion
no, hold on. It's 45.6 million won.
won to USD. Okay. All right, so and we got 46 billion. 1, 2, 3.
45.6 million won.
Okay.
That's not even that much. What you get?
It equates to, well, so it's from 45.6 billion South Korean won, would then be roughly, so if you're rounding up, $40 million
Mm-hmm.
to be exact, it's about $38 million.
Oh.
So in the milli.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is?
Yeah.
Million?
So billion,
Is it million or
billion.
billion?
So we're taking the 45.6
Oh,
billion
he won billion.
won.
Yeah, I put in
We're
million.
putting in million. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So if you do 45.6 billion South Korean won, and then
There we go.
conversion rate to USD dollars is roughly 38 million.
38,720,223.12.
There you go.
Holy moly. Okay then.
So a few milli, which It's okay. It's a few milli, right? But
It's a
it's
reach.
like, but it's like, is that even worth like all that? You know what I mean? I feel like I need a payout of a billy for that. Like a billy USD.
Dude, I
A
don't
billy
even
USD.
like the PTSD that would come along with doing games like that,
I
you
mean,
know?
that was portrayed. You know, we saw that like a little bit of a time skip towards the end where he was just kind of like didn't even touch it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the period to where he was just like he got all this money and he was just like, "You know what? I'm going to go dye my hair. I'm going to go get a new look going."
Yeah.
I was just like, "Wow, he picked a page right out from Latin American woman, you know.
Right, right.
I got paid. I'm going to
That's
go
so
get my
funny.
nails did
I'm
and my
gonna go
hair
get
done."
my nails did.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if I can. A lot of the games in there were pretty trippy. What were your favorite ones?
uh, the infamous green light, red light.
That one was
Um,
cool.
I loved just how, I mean, that was just it, I think everyone's like highlight. I feel like it was just such a, like the way it was done with the doll and everything.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I
Yeah,
just gotta say, you have to watch it like subbed. Don't watch the dubbed English BS.
no?
I don't know if you watched
Oh,
it.
okay. All right.
It's even scarier. It's just because I hate watching like the mouth move for like a sentence and then it's just
It's
not
English?
syncing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I feel like the song for that is even scarier, like even creepier, I would say,
Yeah.
in Korean. Um,
Okay.
so I like that one, and I also like the sugar cookie, right?
The
That's what it is.
honeycomb.
It's like the honeycomb, right? Right,
Yeah.
yeah. That one was cool. Screw his friend. He totally knew. Um, and he's just like, "Hey, why are you choosing that one?" And then it's just like he just chooses the easiest shape.
Yeah. Yeah, I think by that point I wasn't thinking, oh, like, oh shit, like he knew. And then I
Mm,
think when they did red light, green light, it was just I think there was this point to where when I was watching that, I was just like, there was a point where I was like, okay, so what's happening? And then when everybody starts getting shot, and I'm just like, okay, so
right.
if you lose, you're eliminated, you're dead. And I was just
Yeah,
like,
because that
oh,
set the mood. That just set the tone for the whole thing. So that's
yeah,
why I think it was such an impact on the
yeah. I was just
audience.
like,
I was like, "Oh, so that
okay,
it's that kind of game."
yeah, exactly. It's one of
Okay,
those.
it's
It,
one of those. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I think okay, so the red light, green light was chill.
Mhm, mhm.
Honeycomb. I like that one because you had to be like so in the moment in that game and you had to just be intricate about your cuts, but
Right.
while you're doing that, there's people getting shot in the face everywhere
Yeah.
around you.
Yeah.
I just felt tense
Yeah.
during
I
that
felt
whole
tense
one.
for them. Right. Right.
Yeah, but
Oh man.
like you were saying about the English dub version, I watched the English dub version, and
Mhm.
I'm telling you, you're probably about the 11th person to tell me, dude, why did
It's
you watch it English
true.
dubbed?
It's true.
Why? Yeah,
Yeah. And even then with the subtitles, they were like, it's apparently not accurate
that's what I
to
heard
what they
too.
were
Yeah,
actually saying, and I was just like, "Oh my god, what man." At least I enjoyed it. I think that's the important part, you know what I mean?
yeah. No, that's another thing that I heard too. It wasn't translated,
Mhm.
completely.
Or like the full impact or so. But
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, I got the job done."
Yeah, I got the gist of it. You know,
Yeah.
you lose a game, you die. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Right?
yeah.
Uh, Kevin, this was cool. Is there any final thoughts that you want to
I
let out?
No, I think
Let them
I
out.
just thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you having me on here. Always love visiting the Mindbuzz podcast. You know, it's just I love expressing myself on here. It's one of those podcasts I just love interacting with the great host, of course.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Camera, cast, and crew, thanks you also. Go ahead and take some time, talk about what you got going on in your side of the podcasting world. And
Yeah, on my
go
side.
ahead.
Yep. Yeah, on my side, I'm doing my usual finance. Large majority of it being like finance related. Recently, the most recent episodes that I'm doing, they're about how you can start, like, build your business from a startup and taking it to uh having the legal aspects of it and all those components. I even came out with like a guide that just kind of takes you through all the pillars that you should have up to get your business running and make sure that it's a stable business. So that's kind of episodes that I'm putting out recently. But also I'm doing tech segment because I love talking tech. It's pretty evident. And so every other week I'll be doing tech segments where I just talk about all things tech, of course, and how it's shaping our lives and current events. So yeah, I mean, check it out if you're interested. You can always find me on Instagram and all your listening platforms, of course.
Cool. And I will
Mhm.
put all those links that Kevin has just spoke about down in the show notes. And Kevin, thanks for being here once again. And this is probably not going to be the last time. It's not your
Hope not.
first or last time on the Mindbuzz podcast. So I appreciate your time, and everybody
to hear
go check his podcast out. I'm still in. I'm getting into your the recent ones. I'm getting
Mhm.
into that series and how to start your business. You do
Mhm.
a great. You do impeccable work on your guides
Thank you.
that I'm gonna look up too, and your startup business, and I mean
Mhm.
your startup guides
Mhm.
on that. Great topics that you touch on, and if you were into that sort of thing, and anybody,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
if you're a podcaster, if you're an artist, if you're
Mhm.
a business owner, small business owner, large business owner, the information is there. Go ahead, check them out. Go to the show notes, check it out. And thanks for being here. And I'm gonna let the outro music play out. And I guess that was another one. Cool.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks for
Kevin,
having me.
man.
Love it. Love
Cool.
it.
All right, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it. Let that upload for a little bit.
Yep.
Cool. Dude, it just
Awesome.
flies by so fast.
I know. It's I guess the habit with like podcaster to podcaster. You know what I mean? Like we could talk about
The Mindbuzz Podcast.